who he had no strategy. His strategy was flipping a coin, and whether it was heads or tails, he would sell, but he was profitable based off his risk management, basically.
What has been the biggest payout?
$57,000.
$45,000.
Challenges are seeming to get very, very easy.
We are in the beginning of the new trend.
Actually, women are apparently better traders than men.
What about the regulations?
As I said before, I will welcome it basically.
Where do you see the future of the prop trading industry?
I think that they will need to close the shop.
Hello and welcome to our special interview today. I'm Lenka and I have the pleasure of sitting down with the founders of well-known prop trading firms Bainton Club and Blue Guardian. In our chat, we will be delving into some pressing questions that resonate across the financial landscape. We will explore the industry's evolution, challenges and its future outlook. What are the emerging trends? Is the regulation just around the corner? And most importantly, where does the future of the industry lie according to our guests? So get ready for an inspiring interview with Jakub from Bainton Club and Sean from Blue Guardian. And if you like our interview, don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. Hello guys, thank you for coming to our studio.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jakub. Thank you, Lenka, for having me at the Billions Club. It's beautiful.
So tell us a little bit about your background. Maybe Sean, can you start?
Yeah, sure. So I began trading when I was quite young, about maybe like 15 years old. And I got into trading through actually scrolling through Instagram. And I saw one of these like trading gurus with his lavish lifestyle, driving like a nice car, watches. And since then I was kind of hooked. I bought a few courses and I realized that that is not exactly how trading goes. It's not that easy. And yeah, I was going through, course after course. Eventually I found like a really good course to follow on YouTube. And then I got into kind of like building my own algorithms and coding them. And then I ended up selling these algorithms to companies and I got a little bit of cash flow through that. And yeah, and then eventually I ended up going into the prop industry.
Wow. What about you, Jakub?
Yeah, I'm an entrepreneur basically from my very young years. So I started about 15 years ago with my first company. Today I'm 30. I built all my companies was like a tech startups. The last company was a digital agency called Flow Media, which I sold last year. Yeah, most of my companies, I built like maybe 10 plus companies. Most of them failed. Some of them I exit, some of them succeed. Yeah, and when I sold my last company last year, I go more for the trading and investing into the stocks. I start with investing into stocks like 5 or 6 years ago, but I just invested. I have long-term portfolio, and the last year when I have more time, I started with trading, like a day trading for options. So I really enjoy it because I like stocks, and the options for stocks can give you the volatility and the possibility to trade it for day trading and make a living from it. So I really enjoy it, and this basically lead me to start a prop trading company.
So you are the CEO of Bainton Club. When did Bainton Club come to the market?
Yeah, we started 2 months ago, and our first idea was built in January this year. So we work on it about 6 months in the preparations, and we started in July with the live production.
You're the CEO of Blue Guardian. So what about Blue Guardian?
Yeah, so Blue Guardian, we actually began in November 2021, but it was only at the start of this year, probably about February this year, when we had a rebrand and we really started pushing marketing and we started creating a big name for ourselves.
Sean, I know that you're in the industry for a bit longer. So can you tell us how has the industry evolved over time?
Yeah, definitely. So I feel like in the beginning, the industry was very restrictive for the trader. A lot of the rules were restrictive, the profit targets, the max and minimum trading days, even the conditions were a lot harder. I feel like over time, it's become a lot more favorable towards a trader. And we've seen stuff like unlimited trading days be adopted by majority of prop firms now. No minimum trading days is also being adopted, and the conditions all round are just becoming a lot fairer and better for the trader. So I love to see that. I think that's amazing, and yeah.
If you look back in time, so what what have been the biggest challenges the industry has encountered?
The fact that there's a lot of companies out there that might misinterpret the model of a prop firm, and they might not like think it's ethical or might not like it perhaps. And some of these companies might not want to work with prop firms, and it's not great because it gives prop firms a little bit of a bad image sometimes. And yeah, this miseducation about it can lead to companies maybe not wanting to work with us. For example, the deal situation that has happened recently has been quite effective for a lot of prop firms. So yeah, like the miseducation about prop firms, I think definitely has led to it being a bit harmful.
If we talk about the emerging trends in the industry, Jacob, can you tell us?
Maybe I can say on the other hand what Sean said, that the rules was back then more restrictive, and right now I feel it like the more companies are only giving cheaper prices and like more easier rules, so everything is much more easier for the traders. And actually I feel it like we are not filtering enough good traders for us as a prop firm. So this is definitely the trend, that everything is much easier and cheaper, but I think that right now maybe we are in the beginning of the new trend where the rules will be actually again more strict. Maybe the challenges will be more cheaper because it's going together, with the last events like the MFF case and the deals problem, etc., etc. And it means that the companies needs to invest more, money into compliance, into legal teams and things like this. So the companies will have higher costs. You will need to pay attention, maybe to some new regulations, which I will welcome personally, and things like this. So you will need to be like a more professional company in the future, and it will definitely cost you more money. So you need to charge your customers more. So yeah, I think that this will be trend. We will see, and I think we are just in the beginning of it.
If we talk about the emerging trends, what are they according to?
The emerging trends, definitely. So like we said, the challenges are seeming to get very, very easy, almost too good to be true sometimes. And that's, as a trader, you definitely need to be careful with the prop firm that you're going with. Make sure it's reputable, make sure that it's not too good to be true. And because, this trend is eventually going to lead to some firms not being sustainable and not lasting long term. So yeah, like similar to what Jacob said, I think we're going to eventually see firms, pulling back a little bit, being a little bit more restrictive to ensure that they're sustainable. Look at FTMO, look at all the big dogs out there. They haven't really changed too much over the past few years, and that is why they are here, and that's why they're going to continue to stay for a long time.
I know that we have like over 100 companies we can choose from. So every single day there is almost a new prop firm coming to the market. So for me as a trader, what should I look out for when choosing the right prop firm? So maybe can you mention a few things that I should check before I choose the right prop firm, Jacob?
Yeah, definitely. As I told in previous question, please do your own diligence in every firm you want to cooperate with, especially finance companies, and the prop firm is a finance company. So look if the company has a physical address, if they have the office, if you can see the people behind the company, if you can see who is the founder, who are the shareholders, what is the management, if there is a customer support, like a proper customer support, and things like this. Definitely look into it. Look into the photos on their website, read their story. Look into the LinkedIn. You can see the background of the CEO and other management members. It's very important, I think, in a finance company to have a trust. And so make your own due diligence. We as a Billions Club are trying to show as much as possible. That's also the reason why we have a physical offices in 3 cities, in Prague, Dubai, Kuala Lumpur. We are showing our offices, we are showing our people also. For example, the MFF case, the MFS, the whole company, I remember that on their website, basically there was, I think, no one. Like you can just maybe see the CEO, but no other persons. So we are trying to show, all of us here on a daily basis. You can see it on our Instagram, on our Discord. We are very transparent, we are very open, and also we welcome visitors in our office. So feel free to visit us, and you can see it yourself.
What about you, Sean?
Definitely Jacob covered majority of them, but obviously make sure you kind of know the people behind the company. Make sure it's a visible CEO, they're public, you can watch interviews like this and you can, communicate and see how they talk and how they act. That's definitely, number one for reliability. Also, just look at like the reviews online. You can always just Google their name, look at their Trustpilot, look at YouTube because some people might do reviews on there. And I think, yeah, just like make sure that, the reviews are good and they've got a public image, and the CEO is public. I think that's most important.
You mentioned reviews on Trustpilot.
So I've had a few issues with Trustpilot before.
This is
I feel
big question, right?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of companies have had issues with Trustpilot. I personally do not like Trustpilot at all. I feel like they give the reviewer too much power, because we've had issues before where, there's been a trader that has been in the wrong. They've gone and left a 1-star review even though they were in the wrong completely, and there's nothing we can do. That's now, that's bad on us. It makes us look bad. So yeah, I feel like Trustpilot cannot be 100% trusted, but at the end of the day, like, it's still a public domain where people can leave reviews, and it's still a good, indicator if it's actually a functional working company. If you see a Trustpilot page and it's got loads of 1-star reviews, then something suspicious is going on. But if you see the odd one where it looks like the trader might be in the wrong, then I feel like you can overlook that and move forward with it.
And we also, as the company, has very limited power to defend ourselves. So yeah, the power is definitely on the customer side, and sometimes it's wrong, for the company and also for the customers, because we also have some customers, who failed our challenge and give our negative review or something like this, but it's their fault. So yeah, be also careful with the reviews, read them carefully, and make your own opinion. How do you feel it if you read it?
You also mentioned my first funds case. What do you think will be the direct impact on the industry? Maybe Jakub?
It's very hard to say right now, but what we currently see is it's a loss of trust, definitely, around in the customers, because they do not want who to trust, because MFF was one of the biggest companies, maybe basically the biggest company. So it's actually pushing us, like other companies, to be more transparent, to be more compliant with like ethical rules and everything. So yeah, we need to invest and take care more about our customers, definitely, and invest into our reputation and be transparent, show how we operate and things like this, which is only good for the industry. Because as I told you before, MFF doesn't have even the people behind the company on the website. They didn't show on the social media how they operate, what are the key people there. So I think this is only the good, and for us as a Billions Club, and also for the Sean's companies, it will be definitely better, because we are here to be transparent and to be on the customer side.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like there was definitely a loss of trust in the industry as a whole. I feel like there's also a loss of trust between partnered companies. I think in the next, few months, next few months to a year, we're definitely gonna see a lot more kind of companies, not want to work prop firms, mainly because of the My Thoughts Funds case, which is such a shame. It's horrible. We always thought with Deal.
Because they do not understand the industry and the case, so it's better for them, to do not cooperate with anyone, basically.
Especially when like prop firms probably to them is only less than 1% of their company. So I think we're definitely gonna see maybe like payment providers, other just partner companies be a bit more wary. So yeah.
Yeah. What about the regulations? So do you think that the regulation is just around the corner?
So no one has the real answer to this. Everyone's going to give their kind of opinion and think, oh, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. Realistically, we never know what the government are going to do. What I personally, think is, I think regulation will come eventually. When it comes, I'm not sure, but I do think we have enough time to comply, get things sorted, get, other bank accounts, get other companies set up, get other like payment providers set up, make sure that your company complies as a whole and the structure works before it does come in. I would probably say, we still have a decent amount of time before regulations come in. So I wouldn't have anyone stressing there, being like, I don't want to go with prop firm now in case regulations come in. Yeah.
Yeah, but as I said before, I will welcome it, basically, because I think that we as legit companies definitely will comply with the guidelines, and it will be only good if we will have some guidelines and maintenance where we as a prop firm should operate, because the industry is so new that there is basically no law, and it takes years to bring a new law, into the production. So I will only welcome at least some maintenance or guidelines how we should operate, and we will try to comply with it.
I do think that a lot of people don't really know what regulations mean to them. I believe that regulations can be good and bad. it can be good because you know the prop firm is going to be legitimate, it's going to be trustworthy, but I don't think they also realize that this could affect them in cases a prop firm might not be able to work with their country. Prop firms are now would have to purchase annual licenses, which are very expensive, which means prices of evaluations will probably have to go up. So all these kind of things come into play. So really, it's going to be definitely a big change in the industry when it does happen.
The first step to start talking about some regulation is that the government and these regulators must start understand what we are actually doing as a prop firm. We are providing demo accounts with virtual money. People are not sending deposits to our. We are not a broker. We are not actually engaging in the real stock market or forex market. So I think that these regulators actually needs to understand the business.
Yeah, and that's going to take quite a lot of time. Yeah. You got to think there's so many other. We in the prop industry, we think we're so big, but we're not. Like if you look at the crypto industry, there's so many small companies and there's so many other things that need to come before us. It's just because we're in a bubble at the moment. We think prop firms are so much bigger than they actually are.
I've already mentioned that there are over 100 companies in the market that we can choose from. Do you think that this bubble will burst anytime soon?
Yeah, a bit going back to the question that we had earlier on about all these prop firms coming in, trying to undercut the market. I think it is getting to the point where it is getting a bit too saturated and prop firms think that they need to undercut the market to survive. That is definitely, not a good thing because these companies might not be able to survive. I think we're definitely soon going to see a lot of companies, smaller prop firms, become unsustainable and disappear potentially.
I think the broker you choose as a partner is pretty a big question. Which broker did you choose, Jakub?
We choose Purple Trading mainly because I'm friend with the founders of Purple Trading, with the investors into Purple Trading. So it was like a easy choice for me. But the reason also why we choose them is because for you as a trader with a prop firm, it's the only thing which matters and which is important is technology behind the broker, because you operate with a demo account with virtual money. So basically, you doesn't care about deposits and withdrawals from the broker and things like this. You as a client of a prop firm only care about the technology because you need fast execution, you need support for good trading platforms like 24, 5, C-Trader, things like this. You basically just need a technology. And I know that Purple Trading is actually a very solid company with a strong technology background. I know the personality, the persons behind it, and they are really good developers. So that's the reason why we choose them.
Mm-hmm. What about you? Yeah. Which broker did you choose?
So from the beginning, we were using Purple Trading up until probably about 6-7 months ago, where we put a halt on there while we were restructuring accounts. We were still allowing the funded traders to continue with Purple Trading, but at the time we introduced 8-cap. We have noticed since introducing 8-cap that so many traders actually do love Purple Trading, and they are a favourable prop firm broker because of how obviously favourable the conditions are. So we have actually decided a bit of like an announcement that we will be bringing back Purple Trading in hopefully the next couple of weeks. And yeah, so we'll both be using Purple Trading.
Good to know.
Yeah, but maybe just to repeat it for the customers, because probably the traders and our customers looking to this interview, I think it really doesn't matter so much who the broker is, because the much more important is really the technology and how the technology and the broker works. So check your, we probably both of us are providing, the checking accounts where you can check what is the spread, how fast is the execution and things like this. And this is what I really recommend to everyone to check this, because that's your experience with the broker. You will not deposit money into the broker. You will not withdraw money from the broker. We as a company, yes, we have also our own accounts with the broker, with our money. But for you as a trader, it's not the case. You are trading with the virtual money. So for you, just the technology stack is what really matters.
I'll also add on top of that, obviously, Purple Trading is regulated, and so is 8-cap. This means, that I'm sure same as you, like we don't affect any of the conditions. We make sure that everything is default, unlike some other companies that recently have been investigated, which is most important out there, that we are providing live execution that is going straight to the market without any manipulation.
Exactly. We do not have actually the possibility to manipulate something because our broker is really reliable and they do not offer these services to us. So we also have a default market conditions and we do not want to do anything with that.
Guys, just want to tell you know that I did an interview with Adam from Purple Trading. So if you want to know more about prop industry, so just watch this interview as well. Back to you guys. We see that the prop trading industry is very, very competitive. What about you? How do you stay competitive in this market? Sean?
Yeah, so I think every prop firm has to have their unique selling point, their edge that diversifies them, because there are so many prop firms opening up. At Blue Guardian, the whole kind of theme and the branding is about guarding the capital, kind of with our name. If you see, there's like a castle and knights on our website. So we kind of implement some, features to be able to ensure the capital of the trader is secured. For example, we've got something called a Guardian Protector, where it's like a built-in equity stop loss, so they can make sure they can limit how much they want to lose in a day and kind of block them from trading so they don't overtrade, which is an amazing tool. A lot of traders love it. So yeah, I think adding these little features that make you unique as a prop firm is super important.
Jakub, what about Bainton Club?
Yeah, and we also are building, the features which are unique. We have many unique selling points. For example, we built a trading journal, which is right now in our dashboard. It's a fully automated trading journal, and we are working. I can say today on the much more like a sophisticated version of the trading journal, which will be available for our traders and maybe also as a standalone product. So this. What we have right now in the dashboard is just like a minimum product. We want to test it with the users, get some feedback. And right now we are working on much more sophisticated solution, which will be available probably next year. And so this is like the feature based. Our plans, for the like a longer future are also to provide the clients with the debit cards, which will be used for their payouts. So actually we do not need to transfer the money through deal or through some companies to your bank account, which always takes some time. And also we are charged quite a big fees for these transfers. So we as a technology company are building right now the stack which will allow us to issue debit cards where the users actually can receive their payouts and pay in a normal shop with their cards. So we want to cut the middleman behind the company for the payouts and make as many things as possible in-house with our tech. So that's what we are doing. There is many more things, but as I told as my introduction, I'm a tech entrepreneur. Actually, I started when I was 15 as a developer, so my background is in the tech. So yeah, we want to be more like a technology focused and yeah.
Yeah, so you kind of answered my next question about innovations. So Sean, what about you and innovations? So can your customers expect some innovations?
Yeah, definitely. So we're always working around the clock to come up with new ideas, new features. I think the main thing that we're going to be focusing on is adding new features because we don't want to change the model too much. We've seen it before, prop firms that have changed the model and, it's completely affected the structure of their company. We have a challenge that works. Our customers love it. There's no need to actually change the challenge. We do want to add, some extra features into it. For example, we're working on a built-in economic calendar where it kind of alerts you when a red folder news alert comes out, which I think will be great. Also, to our Guardian Protector, we want to add a take profit so that traders can also set a take profit level. So if they ever reach that in equity, then it will close out. So it's kind of similar to what the stoplet is, but obviously it's the opposite. So it's a take profit. So yeah, we're always working around ways to innovate with new technology.
I just want to go back to discounts because what I feel like most of the companies, they compete with huge discounts. Do you think that it's sustainable to run a company with a huge discounts?
So I feel like in the beginning, when you're a smaller company, a smaller product firm, you definitely need to have some edge on pricing because there needs to be a reason for a product firm to go with you, not just because of the model. When you are big enough and have a big enough name, like FTMO, you can sell without any discounts, you can sell without needing them. But I definitely believe in the beginning, while you're growing and building that name and reputation, you do need to provide some discounts. the massive discounts I've seen some insane discounts. I'm like, is this really sustainable for the company? I feel like if they're doing like 50% discounts for that, and you need to like really be like, oh, that's like going crazy. Yeah, because these companies sounds like they just want to get your money in, and they could disappear at any time. So yeah.
Yeah, you want to add something to it?
Yeah, I agree with Sean. Be aware of the companies who are offering 50 or 80% discounts. The answer to your question, I think it's sustainable, to have some kind of like a smaller discounts. We are in a very competitive market. It's very similar, for example, as the fashion market, as the fast fashion shops. If you are going to buy something, you are almost every time want to have some discount, and you are not buying without a discount, because you know that if this company doesn't have a discount today, another company will have a discount. So you are waiting for discounts, and it's quite it's quite a pity that we need to compete with the discounts. But yeah, probably it's just the mark of the competitive market. But I think as I talk about the trends, that actually the number of the prop firms will be reduced, I think, dramatically within the next year, because the cost to operate the prop firm will be much higher. You will need much more staff, much more employees, comply, maybe with some new laws or something. You will need in-house lawyers. You will need people who really will take care of these things. So I think that there won't be like hundreds of the prop firms, because most of the new firms are often run by 2 or 3 people. It's like a garage companies, and I think that these companies will not have the money and capital to run a proper company and invest in it. So I think that they will need to close the shop.
So if we talk about future, where do you see the future of the prop trading industry? I'm not saying like in 2 or 3 months, but I'm saying like, let's say in 2 or 3 years, Sean.
Yeah, we've already seen that the popularity of prop firms is going up and up and up. I don't know if any of you have seen the graph of the Google search of prop firms. About 5 years ago, it was like down here, and now it's just literally coming up like that. It's insane. It's only going to get bigger. It's only going to get bigger and bigger. Like we said, I think a lot of smaller prop firms are going to end up disappearing because they won't be able the capital to survive. They won't be able the backing to survive. Like you said, regulations might come in. But yeah, I eventually see prop firms potentially going like mainstream. We could even see them like adverts on TV. 5 years ago, you would never see like a broker advert on TV. And now when you turn on the TV, you might see, the different whatever broker there is in Czechia being promoted on there. I personally believe that prop firms will eventually become like that in the next 5 to 10 years, which is going to be crazy for the market. And it's so good that we're getting in the market now, and we're sustainable and secure in the foundations, because I definitely believe it is going to get to a point where there's going to be no entry level, essentially, yeah.
And the market is growing like rapidly, very well. Also, the COVID probably really helps the whole trading industry, because during the COVID, everyone was a trader, and most of these people who invested some money or trade some money during the COVID, maybe they lost them, because if you are a new trader, it's very hard to make money. I know it personally. I lost a lot of money, during my first year or two trading. It's actually a very hard job to trade and to be profitable. So yeah, that's also the reason why I recommend to everyone to be really careful, to be aware, to study a lot before you start trading with the real money. And we as a prop firm are actually a very good starting point for the traders, because your only risk if you want to start trading is a few $100 maximum for your challenge. But if before the prop firms, if you want to be a trader, you need to put like a $50,000 or $100,000 into your trading account and start trading. And most of the times you lose it all within maybe a few weeks or months, and you lose all your savings usually. So I think that we as a prop firms are actually saving a lot of traders, and they're maybe all their savings.
Yeah, I feel like there's always going to be a need for prop firms, because there's people don't want to trade their own capital, don't want to lose their own money. They don't even have the capital a lot of the time to be able to, to trade with. So prop firms are essentially always going to be around if you think about it like that.
And for trading, you need some amount of money, because it doesn't make sense to trade with $1,000. So yeah, usually, you have on your savings account $50,000. You save it, for, I don't know, some lifetime event. One day you get the idea you will start the trading, you put all these 50,000 into the broker, and within the 2 months you have nothing. I think this is really not too clever. It's totally high risk product, you know.
But I feel like most of the traders, they went through this path.
Yeah, exactly. And I understand it, because if you are, if you are investing into stocks, also I would recommend everyone, to invest like a 5 or 10% of all your like net worth, and even smaller amount for trading. But these people, especially younger people, are investing maybe 90% of their savings into trading, and it really doesn't make sense, because especially in the few years, the trading is not profitable for most of the traders. It's a really hard job, but yeah, it's doable. And the few percent of the traders are really rich people and very clever. So definitely, the trading itself, it's a great job. It gives you freedom. You can do it from whenever you want. So yeah, I love trading, but be careful with trading.
Yeah, I also think that a lot of younger traders, they think they can deposit, $1,000, $2,000, and they can make 1,000% return. Exactly. You got to realize, Warren Buffett is seen as one of the best traders in the world. He only makes an annual return of 20%. That 20% on $1,000, that's nothing. So you really do have to have a large amount of capital to make, if you want to do this as a career, if you want to make a yearly salary off this, you do need to have a lot of capital, and that is why prop firms are here to help you.
I mean, I do interviews with traders, and recently I did an interview with a trader from Zimbabwe, like actually a funded trader, and it was just the best interview I've ever done, because he was actually talking about his journey, like through prop firms, he's able to make his dream become true, because he's like, generating enough money now. He's in Poland he just wanna save up $250,000 and then move to Dubai. So support his family in Africa. So it was just unbelievable, and it was just because he has a funded account, right? Because otherwise he wouldn't be able to trade just with.
He probably start with, I don't know, $100 or $200.
So it's so nice that you can actually see your customers, like in Zimbabwe, in India, in Vietnam, around the world, that you help them achieve their dreams.
Yeah, I love those stories when you hear someone like, yeah, it's amazing.
Well, can we talk a little bit about your customers? Like, who are they? Jakub, can you tell us a little bit about like Billions Club customers?
They are really different personalities, in general, the customers who are buying the lower accounts, like the 5, 10K, they are most probably the beginners. So there is also the highest, the fail rate. For the higher accounts, there is a lower fail rate, because advanced traders buying these higher accounts. But back to the questions, really the people are as you said, from different countries around the world. Actually, we have traders from more than 100 countries right now. They are in the different ages. It started from 18 to 65. So yeah, it's a really very, very different groups of people, and I probably cannot specify it. What about you, Sean?
Yeah, I mean, like, we accept customers from all over the world. We have traders from basically everywhere. I'd say, our most popular countries are the US and UK, which is like pretty standard for a lot of prop firms. We have actually seen an increase in the Latino community down in South America, sorry. But yeah, that's increasing. I think Argentina is actually one of like our 3rd or 4th biggest purchasing countries. So yeah, it's really interesting. We have actually yet to do a trader meetup. I know you guys done one a few weeks ago or recently. So yeah, I would love at Blue Guardian eventually to do a kind of trader meetup and meet all these traders that we have in the UK, whether it's in Dubai. Obviously, we're moving to Dubai. So I think that'd be great.
Yeah, so let's go a little bit specific. Like, if we talk about the percentage, what is the percentage women, men? Like, do you have any female traders actually?
Yeah, we do have female traders. It's obviously male is dramatically higher. I don't know the actual figures to me, but I just know that our target audience, I think it is between like 24 to 30-year-old males. But yeah, like women, it's a weird statistic, but actually women are apparently better traders than men. I think it's because they're able to control their emotions better. They're more, patient, and yeah, I've known that for a few years. Yes, exactly. So we need more female traders at prop firms.
Yeah, what about we in Billions Club? Do we have any female traders?
I think we
Any
have
female
some women.
customers?
It will be like a 5% of the customers, I think. So I think we also have some like a funded traders within the women. So yeah, they are probably maybe more successful than the males. So
Sean mentioned top 5 countries of their customers. What about Billions Club? What are the top 5?
yeah, also it's a US. We have a lot of customers from Vietnam. We have also some customers from Czech Republic, UK. We have a lot of customers from Nigeria. Yeah, India. So
Sean, I know that your partner is originally from China. Have you ever considered like looking into Chinese market?
We haven't actually, like, that's an interesting question. I know it was brought up at a dinner last night, I think, and yeah, we'll definitely look into it. I don't think we actually, I did have a check, and I don't think we have too many customers from China, which is surprising because it's such a massive country. I'm not 100% sure about like the regulations there. I know it's a little bit stricter. I'm not aware that many brokers that operate there, so it might, it might be a situation where we might not be able, they might be able to trade with prop firms. But yeah, I'll definitely look into it better. I know Eric would be, thrilled to, if we could, start marketing more towards the Chinese market.
Is there any country that you banned?
We have had some, obviously there's a few sanction list countries that we have to ban. But we have had a few countries recently where, we've had like some fraud issues. And as at the moment, we're trying to work out a way to prevent that. We're not going to permanently ban these countries, but they're on like a suspension at the moment. So it's Vietnam and Pakistan at the moment. But like I said, we are working a way to be able to identify these people that do fraud and the cheating better, and then eventually bring lift the ban on the country.
Can you be more specific how they cheat actually?
Yeah, so I mean, like we've had a lot of issues with the KYC and the AML, like anti-money laundering, where a lot of people are like being drummed to like kind of fake identification, stuff like that. With the cheating, we've had a lot of issues with like arbitrary trading, which is a big one, and we just noticed there was like a big influx from these countries. And like I said, we're going to try and identify a way to, instead of like banning the country as a whole, because I don't like that at all. Obviously, we want everyone to be able to trade with us, and I think it's very unfair that this small percentage of customers can affect the whole country. So, like I said, we're going to try and work a way out to identify these cheaters individually, and then eventually lift the ban on these countries.
What about Billions Club?
we didn't ban any country.
If we talk about the percentage of how many of your customers pass the challenge, what is the percentage?
Yeah, it's vary between the account sizes. There are big differences, but in general, it's from like 10 to 20% the pass rate.
I think we've got a kind of similar. Overall, it's a bit closer to 10%, but we have noticed that the higher the account size, the actual higher the percentage pass rate is. So I think on our 200K account, it's like 16, 17%, which is obviously amazing, which means it kind of shows that the traders that are spending more and have more confidence to go for the higher account size tend to pass more than the ones with the lower account sizes.
What is the average payout per customer that passed the challenge?
I think for us, it's close to $3,000. I think that $3,000 to $4,000. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure.
It really depends. I think you cannot say what is the average, So.
Okay, so what has been the biggest payout?
Yeah, so we are a younger company than Blue Guardian. We are on the market only for about 3 months. But our biggest payout, or the trader who received the biggest total payout, is the one with like $45,000 in the last 3 weeks, I think.
Decent. We had a trader in July get 2 payouts. Obviously, we do bi-weekly, so it's every 2 weeks. And I think in total he withdrew $57,000 throughout the month of July, which is obviously amazing. Yeah, we were trying to get in contact with him to do an interview, but we didn't seem to really get any information back, unfortunately.
I can see that because I do interviews with investors as well, and I can see that there is a huge difference between investors and traders. Investors, they love to share their investment strategies, but with traders, they just want to keep low profile, and it's very, very hard to actually...
Yeah, they do not want to be copied by some other traders, which I, to be honest, do not understand, because Forex market is a huge market and one retail trader cannot move the candle, So...
Yeah, I feel like they believe that if they let other people know that they'll no longer be profitable with the strategy, it would take thousands, if not, millions of these traders to do that at the same time to actually have any effect.
And if we talk about the instruments, what your traders use most, so what about Bainton's club traders?
Yeah, definitely forex pairs like Euro
Sequence,
USD, yeah, Japanese, things like this. Yeah.
I think our top three is Euro, US dollar, of course, the Dow Jones, the US 30, and gold. Gold is very, very heavily traded.
what about platforms? I know that most of the traders, they always ask whether you already offer MetaTrader 5. What about you? Do you have MetaTrader 5, 4, and CTrader?
So when we first launched, MT4 with Purple Trading was the only thing that we were using because that's what we offered at the time. When we had our rebrand, we wanted to also offer MT5 to our customers. That's why we introduced 8cap as a broker that offered MT4 and MT5. Recently, Purple Trading has announced that MT5 is now available. So like we said, we're going to come back with Purple Trading, introduce Purple Trading MT5. And I have been in talks with them, and apparently they are going to introduce CTrader, hopefully before the end of the year. So luckily, if you come with us, then by the end of the year, you'll have MT4, MT5, and CTrader, which would be amazing.
And can you say that your traders that have been using MT4 jumped right into MT5, or there wasn't a big difference?
So I think from the stats that I knew 6 months ago, majority of traders were actually on MT4. But I have noticed a big shift to MT5 now. I feel like a lot of traders, they're feeling MT4 is outdated. They haven't got the same tools that they had. Even like connection to the latency is a lot slower on MT4 compared to MT5. So I feel like we are going to see that the shift to MT5 is going to become a lot more popular. And also brokers. I'm not sure if you're aware that MT4 servers are no longer available to purchase for a broker, which means MT5 is their kind of like go-to, especially for new ones. And they're going to try and push MT5 a lot more because it's going to cost them so much more to push MT4 traders.
Yeah, so we have...
Yeah, we have the same broker as the Blue Guardian, Purple Trading. So we can promise to our traders that we will introduce also CTrader, probably within the few months. So yeah, stay tuned. And also the MT5, we are already working on the implementation, and it will be live within a few days. So maybe even earlier than the interview will be up on our YouTube. So yeah.
I have a question. When we look on YouTube, there is like lots and lots of YouTube videos, how to pass challenge. Can you see, in your history, trading history, that there is a big improvement in the trading, in the trading level of your customers? That you can see, like, I don't know, a year ago, like the pass rate wasn't that high as right now because of the available educational material?
I think definitely that's a really good question because we have actually seen an increase. We have seen that traders have become, I guess, in a way more profitable. I don't know if they've become more profitable. I believe that they've become better at passing challenges. They've, developed more strategies to be able to reach the profit target in the time term. Yeah, it's like whether they become a good trader or whether they're able to meet the profit target for the challenge within the drawdown limits. So yeah, like I said, we have definitely seen an increase over the last year or so since operations.
Yeah, that's maybe the only like a bad thing that from the prop firms we actually educated like a more gamblers maybe because they are trying to reach the profit targets as soon as possible, so they are risking a lot, and this is not sustainable for the real trading, So, but if they know that they are using a different strategy for the challenges and a different strategy for the funding accounts, yeah, maybe it should work. But always I recommend traders to be like more averse to the risk and risk as low as possible and do it consistently with the consistent risk, and do not risk too much for the challenges also.
When you look at your funded traders and their strategies, what would be your number one advice that you would give to traders who just purchased their first challenge?
Yeah, I think we actually have a statistic about 90% of traders end up failing their evaluation for the first 2 weeks. I think with these traders, they're definitely over risking and over leveraging and trying to get the profit target straight away. I know myself when I was trading and trying to pass challenges, even before purchasing, I was planning on what I was going to do with the money when I passed. And I feel like a lot of these traders, they want to get their, reach that profit target, get that funded account as soon as possible. be patient. Don't rush it. Follow your strategy and make sure you don't deviate from that.
Yeah, and study a lot before you actually start trading. Yeah, and the challenge can help you with that, because if it's your first challenge and you just want to start out during education, and so you can buy like a challenge with a 10 or 25 or 50K, learn on it, and then buy like a higher accounts with a higher capital when you feel comfortable. So yeah.
Definitely, I feel like going back to that, like I would definitely not recommend buying a challenge unless you have your strategy already back tested. You've even then forward tested it on a demo account with a broker, and then once you've got profitability on that strategy, then go ahead and purchase a low account size before trying to jump into the big 200Ks.
In Billions Club, we are actually very focused on on the education. That's also the reason why we built this studio, and actually our trader is doing live trading 3 times a week, and that's for these beginners, because you can watch him live every week and learn live from his trading. So I think this is the best way how to learn, to see how the trader is choosing the entries, exits, how he managed the risk. Yeah, you cannot see Jan using like 20% risk per trade. He will teach you to use half the percent per trade, and these like risk management rules. Because also from my personal experience as a trader, the risk management is much more important than your strategy. Because also with a very bad strategy, you can be a profitable trader. But with a good strategy and the bad risk management, you will not be a profitable trader. So yeah, I would recommend you to manage your money carefully, and do not focus too much on the strategy, but more on the risk management. Try to do not lose the money. That's the most important rule. Do not lose the money.
I think I read a book once about a trader who he had no strategy. His strategy was flipping a coin, and whether it was heads or tails, he would sell, but he was profitable based off his risk management, basically. So it really does show that risk management is, one of the most important things when it comes to trading.
Thank you, guys. I've already asked all my questions. Is there a question you would like to ask each other? Maybe Sean? Would you have any question that you would love to ask Jakub?
Yeah, Jakub, where do you see the future of Billions Club, and how do you plan to get Billions Club to that?
Yeah, we want to focus more on the technology and be more like a fintech company. Right now, we are not so different from other like a prop companies in terms of the product. The product is almost same across the board. Also, you with the Blue Guardian and the guys from FTMO, basically everyone are selling the challenges, providing capital for traders, which is really like a valuable product, and it's growing, and there is actually need for the product. But we want to go more into technologies. That's the reason why we are building the standalone trading journal. We want to build on backtesting tool. We want to have the debit cards for the payouts, to cut the middleman between us and the trader for the payouts. And maybe also we are thinking about some like a trading games to entertain the users a little bit more. So there is like a different parts of the business, but the most important thing is to have more revenue streams, not rely only on providing the capital and selling the challenges. So this is like the first part of the business, the B2C business, and then what I really want to do also is B2B business actually, because we as a prop tech company, we have a lot of traders on the platform, and we see how they are trading. And these are valuable information which you can sell to the hedge funds or other like capital managers, and they will be really happy to pay you for that. So that's our like a second strategy, or like a second division where to make money, is the B2B.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, yeah. I think with Blue Guardian, we kind of aim to sharpen our offering, our service, make sure our customer support is better, and really, set the foundations of the company. Make sure that we comply with everything, make sure that we're going to be here long term. Because to me, that's most important, that you can make sure that the company's going to be here long term. There's so many prop firms that are probably not focusing on that, trying to do other stuff, and then out of nowhere they could be hit with a big issue, like the payment provider, processor shutting down, etc., stuff like that. So yeah, definitely making sure that the offer is the best and the company is strong. That's Blue Guardian.
What about you, Jakub? Do you want to ask any question, Sean?
Yeah, maybe I can ask you a question because we already talk together with with the customer support and how you operate it, and you a little bit inspired me, because you said that you have fully distributed customer support actually across the continents and the countries, and you didn't meet your people in the person even. Our customer support is only in-house in the offices, but our customer support team is not so big right now. We have 7 people on the support, one a team leader, which is here, and then 2 people here in the Prague office, for a day shift, and two people for the evening shift, and the 2 people in the Kuala Lumpur for a night shift. But all are in the office and in the person. So maybe I will ask you how do you manage these people if they are distributed to really manage them actually, so they actually transferring the informations properly between the shifts and things like this, because I was really inspired by this.
Yeah, definitely. So we've looked at having in-house staff before, and we just think it's really hard because it takes time to onboard them. Companies, prop firms, they might be growing 100% per month, and you're going to need to double your support staff instantly. So the best way that we found was we're hiring remotely and hiring actual traders, because in-house it's very hard to find an actual trader to be a support agent. You'd have to teach them everything about prop firm. So it's a lot easier finding a trader who already knows about the prop firm industry, who already has like a lot of ideas to bring them on board and hire them. What we do is we have team managers. So we have about 3 team managers at the moment, and under them they have about 3 to 4 different agents for each session. So there'll be a UK session, there'll be an Asian session, and there'll be a US session. And those team managers are basically in charge of making sure all the communications flow smoothly between the different sessions. And yeah, like we haven't really had any issues with it, and we love working with multiple different people from multiple different countries, especially some poor countries, being able to give them a remote job and really be able to improve their standard of living. I think it's amazing.
Do you have some tools how to measure the customer satisfaction, because it's a big topic for me right now? I'm trying to implement something. So what's your experience?
I think really just asking, about at the end of when you deal with a customer, ask how was the experience, how did you find it, could you leave a review? I think at the end of all of our, live chat messages, tickets, we have a smiley face, rank how well this customer done, and this is really good because it just gives you a bit more analysis of how the customers like dealing with your firm.
Thank you very much for coming to the studio. I really enjoyed the interview. And if you also enjoyed the interview, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications.